Acute water shortage in 3 regions of the country takes a toll on health delivery and education in many areas as Ghana Water Company is left helpless in dealing with the crisis.
The health facilities, some of them have engaged the activities of the water tankers, and so weekly or twice a week they bring them water, and they pay as much as 90 Ghana cedis.
Outbreak looms in one of the most affected areas in the eastern region in Sanwem.
Yeah, it's possible we can hit with an outbreak, and so as a municipality, like I did indicate earlier on, that in the course of this week, we're meeting with the District Assembly to hold epidemic management meeting to address some of these things. So it is possible we'll be hit with an outbreak. It's possible.
What is the root cause of this problem and how soon will help come to the residents of these areas? This is today's big story with me, Kwache Afreniama. A major water crisis that has hit 3 regions of the country has left residents in the Greater Accra, Western and Eastern regions in a state of desperation. Those living in these areas have been without water for more than 2 weeks. Many are forced to walk miles in search of potable water. Let's first speak to my colleague Matilda Wemega, who visited one of the most affected areas, in fact communities, that's in Sanwem in the Eastern region. Matilda, first tell me how serious this problem is.
Yes, Afre, it's a very critical issue here, because if we're taking it even from residents down to before we get to even the health facility, if you look at how each of these people are going through the struggle to get water for whatever they use it for at home, for school children, it's quite critical. For people who cook, the food vendors and all that, they've resorted to treating this water themselves before they use them for cooking for the general public. When you look about students too, they have to wake up very early in the morning, walk for long distance to get water in order to bath before they go to school. So generally it cuts across.
And then this has been going on for some days.
For 2 weeks. It's entering the 4th week, I'm told. So we are in the 4th week that they've been struggling with this water issues. There's been some government has already announced some intervention, but they are yet to see it, because the area in particular that I went to, Idrijiri, which is one of the hardest hit areas in Nsawam, they are struggling to get water. And if you look at where they are getting water from now, it's
Where is that?
Quite a serious situation. That is the Densu River. This water is polluted. This is the same water the people they go there to wash. Some go there to take their bath in there, and this is the same water that they are using to cook. So you can really ask that, what exactly are these people doing? Are we waiting for an outbreak of cholera before government stepping in to put in some stringent measures? Because this has been going on for some weeks now, and it's about time government step up its efforts to address the situation, because from where the residents sit now, they are quite helpless, because not everybody can afford to buy such a bag of pure water to use for cooking and for drinking. So you can...
Pretty desperate situation.
Exactly.
There, I can imagine. But you've been speaking to some of the residents.
Yes, I spoke to some residents, and I spoke to some school children as well, to find out how this is taking a toll on them too as well.
All right, we can hear from them.
Oh, it's very bad indeed. Especially me, I'm having a family of about 6. You have to queue for water. School children, before they queue, they have to wake up early in the morning, about 3 a.m. Other than that, they won't get water to bath. Yeah, we fetch 1 gallon of this. And now some places 1 cedi. Even here is very cheap, 70 pesos. We fetch as much as 10. As time goes on, if the scarcity continues to be very worse, I think the price will even go high. Because now, as you see, most of the people have come to fetch and gone.
Okay, since this season is the dry season, we the students of Insa School is greatly affected by the water problem in Saum. And because of that, before we can get water and bath and come to school, we have to travel about miles before we can get water to bath and come to school. So we think the government should put in measures to get us adequate supply of water so that we can get enough water and bath come to school.
So it means most of you you come to school late because of that?
Lots of the students of Insa School come to school late because of the shortage of water in Insa. And to testify to that fact, I would say it's not all the areas which is in the town which are greatly affected by the water shortage. Okay. But it's some of the areas, okay, especially Agredui, Jankrum, and Ademukatesh, okay, because they solely depend on River Dinsu and other sources of water supply.
The water situation has become a very great hindrance to most of us in the school because we have to walk very long distances to places in search of water. And it has made most of the students come to school very late, and it is really affecting us.
Okay. So if you have to go extra mile, that is for home, not for school, right?
Yes, please.
So when you are home, you have to go that long distance to get the water?
Yeah, we have to go for all that distances, and when we are in school, but in school, we don't really lack water because the authorities are helping us. But in the house, water problem is very hard.
Okay. How is this affecting your studies? You are in Form 3 and you are writing work. How is this affecting you?
We had to wake up at dawn and learn, and this time is preserved in search for water, and it is really affecting us.
Okay, so those were some residents of Insawan, but I know they've been giving you a deeper perspective of what their daily struggles are so far as the situation is concerned.
Yes, for the health facilities, they are in a very critical situation here because for most of them now, about 3 health facilities I visited, they are now resorting to the services of water tankers, and you can't tell where exactly this water is coming from for them to use. You know, government promised someone last week that key public institutions like the hospitals, the health facilities, and the schools are going to be benefiting from free water.
That was going to be facilitated by the national security.
Exactly, and they are yet to benefit from this free water supply.
Okay, so we can hear from them.
This is the Insawan.
The health facilities, some of them have engaged the activities of the water tankers. And so weekly or twice a week, they bring them water. And they pay as much as 90 Ghana cedis. And then 2 of the facilities, they were lucky. The MP provided them with polytanks and then give them water as well. And then 2 or 3 of the facilities have mechanized boreholes, so they just pump into the polytank and then use it. But you know, all these, the mechanized borehole, they use electricity, so it's also very costly. And even those who are engaging the activities of the polytanks, the tanker drivers or whatever, they also need money to buy the water, and it's very expensive. And the IGF is not there, the insurance too are not paying them, so it's quite a hell of problem, yes.
I don't know, there's supposed to be some kind of support coming from government through the assembly to supply water to the, especially public institutions. Have you benefited from any of that sort so far within this period that you've been hard hit with the water crisis?
No. No.
You haven't benefited from any water of that sort?
At all. No.
So that was a health official there in someone talking also about the fear of possible cholera outbreak. And I can imagine you were talking earlier about
the
how
insanitary
polluted
condition which they find themselves and all that. So they are worried that there would be a possible outbreak of cholera, looking at the condition that residents find themselves in.
And there's something they are doing about it, is it?
Yes, they are expected to hold an epidemic management meeting sometime this week. That is Wednesday, to start their public education campaign as to how residents should go about water from some of these sources, to treat them well at home before they use them for cooking and then drinking.
And I'm curious, so far there have not been any reported cases of cholera linked to this situation?
Not at all.
As well?
There's not been any case of cholera or water-related disease within Nsawam yet. So we can also listen to the disease control officer at the Nsawam Municipal Health Directorate. He gave me a further understanding of the intervention that they are putting in place to address a possible outbreak of cholera in the area.
All right, so we can listen.
Adwaji, as a municipality, is known to be cholera zone, and for almost every year we record an outbreak. But notwithstanding that, since there has been this water shortage, at the moment, no, we have not recorded any water-related diseases or any cholera. If I'll be specific, we have not recorded any.
But looking at the trend, looking at how long it's taken government to address the water situation, I've already been told it's entering a month, or it's even more than a month. Do you fear of a possible outbreak of cholera within this area?
Yeah, it's possible we can hit with an outbreak. And so, as a municipality, like I did indicate earlier on, that in the course of this week, we're meeting with the District Assembly to hold epidemic management meeting to address some of these things. So it is possible we'll be hit with an outbreak. It's possible.
So that's Asante Dramana. He's the head of a disease, public health disease control at the Nsawam Municipal Health Directorate.
All right, thank you very much, Matilda Omega, my colleague there, bringing us a deeper understanding of what the situation is, talking about the water crisis in the Nsawam Adwaji constituency. We can now speak to Nanajua Enjua with our affiliates in the Western region, Radio Max. Nanajua, what is the situation in that area?
Well, for us, the situation is quite manageable. But one worrying thing about the situation here is the fact that the Galamsey operations on the intake or at the intake points of the Ghana Water Company is adversely affecting water production. That's according to the Ghana Water Company's offices here. Their daily production has been halved, but they are still not able to meet the demands of water supply for the region or Tapade and its environment. And they say the situation is very worrying and disturbing to most of the residents here.
This seems like a rather peculiar situation, directly to do with the activities of miners in the area.
Can you please come again?
I'm saying that this sounds like a peculiar situation in your area, largely linked to the activities of miners there.
Of course, last month, the Deputy Minister of Water, Western Resources, Western Housing, was here to inspect some developmental work going on with regard to some water project sites. And he expressed worry about the situation because he was taken right to the very point where they draw raw water for treatment, and he was appalled by the situation. We put specific questions to him. He promised that once he gets to Accra, he will get back, and then we will see how we can do it, or they would know what to do about the situation. But unfortunately, I'm told the situation still persists. And also the Galamsey activities on the Pra River, according to the Ghana Water Company here, received, I'm afraid it's going to be like this for a very long time. We might go even into the season of getting a perennial water shortage in the region, afraid.
All right, thank you very much, Nanajua, there with our partner station, Radio Max, in the Western region. Let's speak now to the Assembly member for the Ningo district. Mr. Terry joins us on the line now. Thanks for joining us on today's Big Story. Please paint a picture of what the situation is in your area, specifically Ahriam.
I beg of you, the name, that is the correct name. The name is Ahiam. It's not in the Nigo district. It's Nigo traditional area. Okay.
Thank you, but I was asking what the situation in your area is. I understand it's very dire. It's affecting education and all that in the area.
Yes. The true side of the coin is the water flows for this area for more than a month now. And it is now becoming a problem because the teachers are even threatening to go away because there's no water in the area. Moreover, students need to go to the pond where they have dug it, then wait and wait over it for people not to come and fill the water and all that. This has caused a lot. We'll go to the school and we'll meet some of the students. And they are now coming from the pond where they have got water to bath to the school. So what are you to do? Because they need to concern it as it has affected education, it has affected everything. Basically everything becomes nonsense because there is no water. If you who want to play smart, then you need to go in for a tanker water, which sells at the 4 gallon and 1 to 50 pesos. This is the situation for now. And as you are aware, the economic situation of the area is only fishing. That is the only source of income. And these days, fishing is not like the olden days whereby fishermen go in and come with a bumper fish. So that is the situation we are facing now. Nothing to talk about. There is no water for household choice.
What efforts have you made so far in reaching authorities to help deal with this problem, and what have been the responses?
Yeah, first we are on the line with then Buy Water is on the line, is serving our place. But for some months now, their line is no more coming. And Ghana Water Company has their line at our place. They come down on some of their service. They promise to come back again. Today, nothing is being heard. I called on their engineer a few weeks ago, and he told me a letter was dispatched and they were waiting for response. But till date, nothing is heard again.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tay, the Emmanuel Tay. He is the assembly member for the Ahriam district in the Ningo Pram constituency. We can now speak to MP for Nsawam Adredri, Frank Anodom. As I mentioned earlier, the Nsawam area is one of the worst affected areas, talking about these 3 regions that have been hit by the acute water crisis. As a parliamentarian, I can imagine this must be a headache to you.
Hello?
Mr. Anodom, I was asking that clearly, as the MP for the area, I can imagine this must be a huge headache to you.
My brother, good evening. It is more than a headache. It's a terrible situation. And it has gone beyond it being a headache to a crisis level of which we are trying to manage. Ever since this matter started, barely a month now, I have to spend more money. My expenditure has gone haywire. We buy water from our like various electoral areas, institutions of public nature, clinics and hospitals and schools. That has been done on a daily basis. But I tell you, my brother, that is just solving about 15 to 20% of the problem. Fact be told, beyond the human activities which have contributed, and here I'm humbly emphasizing that human activities have contributed largely to the water levels that we are experiencing and the crisis now. But the fact be told, my brother, government has displayed profound laxity. There has been profound laxity on the part of government because if you recall, and record shows that last year I asked the minister a number of questions. And the fact of the matter is that the Belgian government had given us a grant of 11 million euro. Today, this government is telling us that there is a lack of funding. The second phase of the water project was unable to be executed because of lack of funding. Now, clearly, the multi-million question is that what happened to the 11 million euro that was released by the Belgian government?
Well, you've asked government that question. What response did you get on that? What happened to this money?
Well, they've still not said anything tangible. They've not told us anything. All that they said is that they use the money. They have to tell us in detail what they use the money. I suspect I suspect the foul play because, my brother, 2 phases of a project. The first phase was executed by President Kufuor, and with as much as 11 million euro, you are telling me that you were unable to execute the second phase. It leaves so much to be desired. I am doing what I can to help my people, but we risk epidemic, and that is the crux of the matter. Because if we begin to record epidemic, that will introduce another element into the problem, and that is what we are all trying to avoid. Government keeps assuring us. If you read the media today, there's been consistent and repeated assurance coming from government. I'm telling you, if you go to the site, little is going on there, and we think that this attitude of government, this government blowing hot and cold, is not too good enough, and we must come back to the basics that whatever they say is lies. We want to see a certain meaningful action coming from the powers that be. The MP, who is a member of parliament, fundamentally, my job is not to provide water, but I'm doing that to complement the efforts of people mandated and institutions mandated to deliver on these deliverables. Now, it appears as if you have been left out of your hook, and you have been left to sort it out. It's getting out of hand. And I think that if the institutions of state, the relevant state institutions, and particularly the presidency, it's a shame that some of these little things are supposed to be played by our institutions of state. The president wants to be brought in because consistently and repeatedly they have displayed laxity, and I think that is not good to us. It's a matter that I want to be treated as a national crisis. Because, my brother, the distress calls is getting out of hand.
Very well. Thank you so much. That was MP for Nsawam Adredjiri, Frank Anodompre. Let's get some answers now. The head of communications at the Ghana Water Company, Stanley Mate, thankfully joins me on the line. Mr. Mate, first of all, tell me, what's the problem?
Very much. The Densu River is dried up around Nsawam Adredjiri. So the Ghana Water Company Limited is unable to abstract water from the Densu River to treat for the people of Nsawam Adredjiri and its surrounding communities for consumption. And that is the situation.
You've thought about alternatives?
Yes, there are three alternatives that we are working on. The immediate one is to provide water via tankers. So what is happening is the NAGMO and National Security is supporting the Ghana Water Company Limited because our fleet of tankers are just few. So they are supporting us so that we could serve the area with water via tankers. So we are fueling the tankers, filling them with water and providing it for free for those in that community.
This situation is not limited to Nsawam Adredjiri. There is a similar situation at Ahriam. My colleague with Radio Max in Takrady also brought us up to speed with another situation of the sort in that area, in the western region.
Yes, like I said initially, the challenge now throughout the country is climatic change. And now we're experiencing it in reality. The Water Resources Commission and the Ghana Water Company Limited has done a lot of education on climatic change and the fact that if we do not manage our water bodies effectively, we could face some challenges in the very near future. I think a lot of people never heeded to our advice, and this is what is happening. Now, with the onset of the Harmattan and the dry season, we realize that most of the river bodies are dried up. If you go to Nsawam, now it's dried up. You go to Barima, it's dried up. Bonsai, it's dried up. Okay, Konongo in the Asante region is dried up. Birim is dried up. And all these things are a result of one, human activity and climatic change. Because people are mining alluvial gold in the water, they are silting the river bodies. So the death is nothing to write home about. People are farming along the river bank and exposing the river to the wages of the weather. Well, so with the slightest heat, the water evaporates faster than usually it would have been. Okay, now people, because of the farming activities, the topsoil is also losing. So anytime there are heavy winds or there are any rainfall, it pushes the topsoil into the river. So it also contributes to the cessation of the water body, and this is what we are seeing. And in some they dump all manner of refuse into the dam.
Mr. Mate, do hold the line for me, Mr. Mate. We've been joined on the line now by Southern Sector Coordinator of the Coalition of NGOs in Water and Sanitation, Mr. Benjamin Lartey. Mr. Lartey, you don't seem to agree, and you feel the argument of the Ghana Water Company holds no merit. Why?
Yeah, we don't, because one, if you look at the basic objectives of Ghana Water Company, they are in four dimensions. One is provision, distribution, and conservation. As you can hear from my colleague talking, he's talking about the issue of climate change. But if the issue of climate change is something to talk about, then the issue of conservation should have been taken into consideration. As part of what we are saying, Ghana Water Company knows that they have to produce water and distribute. Can they then tell us what measures they put in place to have conserved water and also to ensure that most of the issues being talked about, like people farming on the banks of the river, are protected, and if you are going to protect them, it means that there's going to be watershed management and all those things.
Well, let me take a quick response. Let me take a quick response from Mr. Mate on the concerns you are raising. Mr. Mate, Koniwas thinks you are not doing enough.
I think my brother has lost the point. If you come to the water sector, okay, there are segregations. Water bodies are supposed to be managed by Water Resources Commission, and we provide water for urban areas. Now, we support the Water Resources Commission because we know that we are major beneficiaries of the water body, okay? For the water that we are starting up with, we pay royalties to the Water Resources Commission. But then I'm not shifting Ghana Water Company Limited from any blame. But he has lost the point by talking about conservation, okay? Now, when we talk about conservation, what does it mean? There are people farming along the riverbank. That is not supposed to be done. And
Mr. Mate, you clearly disagree with him there, but let me come to some solutions. Let me find out from you the final word from Mr. Lartey. He says you are providing water tankers. In fact, they intend doing in the coming days. That is enough. If not, what else could be done?
We are providing water with tankers, and we are dredging the abstraction area so that we could impound more water when the rain falls. And then the third one is we are doing geophysical studies around the area so that we could explore the possibility of groundwater and then drill boreholes for mechanization.
All right, thank you very much. That was Benjamin Lartey. He's the Southern Sector Coordinator of the Coalition of NGOs in Water and Sanitation. Earlier, you heard also the Head of Communications at the Ghana Water Company, Stanley Mate. That'll be it for today's big story. My name is Kwache Afreniama.